Hello everyone, my name is Maddie Ablitz. I am an occupational therapist and owner of Threshold Therapeutic. I am back again with my community partners at CareWorks Mobility in Charlotte, North Carolina to talk to you about today of what is a Hoyer lift. This is a Hoyer lift, which is a mechanical device that is designed to help clients get from one place to another. So that's bed to wheelchair, bed to recliner, recliner to bedside commode, wherever it is that they need to go. Hoyer lifts are designed so that there are no limitations for who is appropriate to use a Hoyer lift. If you have leg weakness, you have leg pain, you have poor trunk control, none of that matters because the Hoyer lift is designed to hold people basically in a hammock, in a cozy little cocoon, to help them move so that there are basically no safety risks. So there's no lifting required of the caregiver, and anybody who needs help moving around can use a Hoyer lift. That being said, what a client is capable of doing once they're in the lift is dependent on the type of sling that they are using and where you need to go and the position that they need to be in. So I'm going to take a moment to show you how the Hoyer lift works and give you a few examples of what that looks like. I'm going to bring in my assistant Morgan so that we can show you how this lift works. Morgan is in a wheelchair. She already has the sling underneath her. So I'm going to go ahead and lock that chair. There are several different types of sling. The one I'm showing you today is called a divided leg sling. It basically has support from your caboose up to the back of your neck, so you have full support for head, neck, and back. And then it has two legs that are going to loop underneath the under part of your thighs to give support under there. The key thing that you need to know when you're getting the sling on is once you have it on, that the legs are going to go underneath and they are going to crisscross. This is going to prevent your loved one or your client from sliding out of the sling, which we don't want to have happen. So I have leg loops underneath. Once I hook these on the lift, these are going to crisscross here. So I'm going to lay these while I get set up. The next thing that I'm going to do as I'm lining this up is I'm going to make the leg position of the lift wider to go around the wheelchair. This is done with a lever. And I am going to get Morgan lined up, making sure not to smack her in the head with the crossbar that comes across. So I'm going to do the top sling first. You want the colors to match at the top, and you want the colors to match on the bottom. Colors of top and bottom don't need to match, but top loop needs to match top loop, bottom loop color needs to match the bottom loop color. The closer the loops are to the body, the more upright your client is going to be. So if you are going into an upright wheelchair or a bedside commode, you want to have them on the closest loop setting possible. Now I'm going to crisscross my straps underneath the legs. And we are in a position we're ready to go. The type of lift that I am using today is a fully electric lift, which means with the press of a button, Morgan is going to be lifted up into her sling so that I can get her in the bed. There are non-electric models available, which are operated by a hydraulic manual crank. The concept is the same. Ease of use is a little bit differently depending on what you need it for. But now I'm going to go ahead and Morgan's going to get lifted up. We want to make sure in this type of sling that the patient's arms are securely inside the sling so they can hold on to the loops, they can cross their arms across their chest or their lap, but you want hands and arms inside the ride at all times while in the Hoyer lift. Okay, so now that Morgan is safely airbound, we are ready to go ahead and move over into the bed. I'm going to move this wheelchair out of the way. The next thing I'm going to do is take these legs and I'm going to bring them together so they'll fit easier underneath the bed. And I am going to go ahead and slowly start turning this lift. When you're moving someone in a Hoyer lift, we need to make sure that we watch their body position because as we move, they're going to start swinging. We want to make sure that we are safe. So I'm going to get her position. I'm keeping one hand on her and one hand on the lift and getting her lined up into the bed. Now we have to rotate. This is important because if your client has really long legs, maybe they have sensitive feet or sore feet, as I move her, I need to watch this front bar here because her toes could potentially catch that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn her sideways, watching those toes. Good, and now that I've got her moved sideways, We are lined up and ready to go ahead and lay down in bed. If they're not in the right position, this is a great part to go ahead and move your lift where you need to, because I don't want to have to shift my client once I have them in bed. So make sure we're in the right position. Gonna go ahead and lay her down. Once we're positioned, we go ahead and unhook that sling. And these are the basics of using a Hoyer lift. Thank you so much for checking out our video. For more details, if you have questions, please head over to our blog on thresholdot.com for more information. Thanks so much for watching the Home Care OT. Please like and subscribe to keep up to date with our video content, and head over to our blog linked below at thresholdot.com.